Okay, hey everybody, Ryan Chapman from B.A.S.E Training here, and this is part 2 of a 3-part series on the triathlon gear that you need to do a triathlon. Part 2 here is about biking, first part about swimming, third part about running. So we're going to get into bikes today and the accessories you need to do a triathlon. Different kinds of bikes, right? You got mountain bikes and road bikes and triathlon bikes and all kinds of different stuff. What kind do you need to do a triathlon? Well, I guess the most common bike that people already have in their household, maybe you have one from Walmart or Sports Authority or something like that, is a cheap mountain bike. Is that okay to do a triathlon on? Absolutely. If you're doing a sprint triathlon or an Olympic triathlon, especially the shorter ones like that, you're probably okay to go on a mountain bike, a bike that you already have. One recommendation that I would give you is if you are going to use a mountain bike, go down to your local bike shop and get some smooth road tires put on it. It costs you less than $50 and it will save you some drag, increase your speed a little bit because you won't have the knobbies on the tires. So that's my only recommendation if you're going to use a mountain bike, and I would not recommend it above Olympic length like a half Ironman where you got to ride 50 plus miles. Probably not the best bike for that. So let's say you are someone who doesn't have a bike, or you don't want to use your mountain bike and you are doing your first triathlon. What kind of bike should you get? Maybe you're not sure that you want to continue in triathlon, you just want to try it out. Well, the kind of bike I'd recommend for that situation is called either a commuter bike or a fitness bike. The great thing about commuter bikes and fitness bikes is they have an upright riding geometry, very comfortable compared to maybe a road bike or a triathlon bike. And they can be used for a lot of different things. A commuter bike obviously can be used for commuting. You can also use it recreationally. You could put a trailer behind it, tow some kids, something like that. So if you decide not to continue in triathlons, then you've got an all-around, all-purpose bike. But it's a little faster than a mountain bike, a little better to be used on the road. I actually have one right behind me here, so I'm going to grab the camera, give you a little tour of it. So this bike right here is the Trek 7.5 FX. You can see it's got straight across handlebars, kind of similar to a mountain bike. It's got an upright riding position. However, the wheels and tires are a similar size, exactly the same size around in circumference as a road bike or a triathlon bike. However, in width, they're just a little bit thicker than a road bike. They can be used on like a crushed rock trail or something like that. A little bit of off-road, not quite like a mountain bike, but they're faster because they do have somewhat of road tires on them. Okay, so there you have it. That's a commuter bike or a fitness bike. So the next bike we're going to look at is a road bike. This is a step up from the commuter bike as far as speed. It's lighter, the tires are thinner. You sit in a little bit more of an aero position, you're a little bit more bent over. I'm going to grab the camera again, take you on a tour of this road bike. This is my Cannondale R2000 road bike. Now this angle between, you can see here, between this chainstay and this upright called the seat tube, this angle right here is known as the seat tube angle. And that will come into play in a few minutes when we talk about triathlon bikes. So you can see I kind of have this one set up with fenders and things for the rain since I live in Washington. I commute on this bike. Exact same circumference tires as the commuter bike, but thinner. A little bit more of an aero position. Handlebars are sort of ram's horn, I guess you could call them. Has two positions, so you can get down on the lower part to get even more aero and get some more speed. Okay, so that road bike that I just showed you is it's an aluminum frame road bike. It has an Ultegra drivetrain, and it has a carbon fork. Okay, last bike to show you here, the triathlon bike. As far as components like drivetrain and frame materials go, very similar to a road bike. You can get carbon, you can get aluminum. Again, my preference is You know, I mean, if you're really into triathlon and you're a serious competitor, you can save a little bit by going carbon. You can also save some road vibration by going carbon, but aluminum is perfectly acceptable. The weight difference is not that drastic. The speed you'll save is not that drastic. But you can pretty much pick out a triathlon bike the same way you pick out a road bike. But the differences are the seat tube angle that I showed you when we were touring the road bike is steeper on a triathlon bike. So it gets you more over in an aerodynamic position, opens this angle up a little bit, which actually saves your calves and your hamstrings for the run a little bit more because it engages your quads more. So I'll give you a quick tour of this bike. I've actually got some carbon, deep dish carbon wheels on here, you know, which is more for aerodynamics than weight savings, like I was talking about earlier. Not sure that that's even actually really necessary. That's probably more of just because it's cool, but for me anyway. But so this bike has a larger frame pieces here. They're actually kind of teardrop shaped for being more aero. Again, a carbon fork, which is also more aero. You can see it even says aero on there. It must be really fast. And then we've got the integrated aero bars here. Other than that, it's pretty much very similar to a road bike. Same circumference wheels, same width tires on this one. So there you have the triathlon bike. Last few things you need to do the triathlon. Once you got your bike, there's a few more things that you have to have in order to do a triathlon. There's a lot of things that you don't have to have, like carbon wheels, or carbon aero bars, or carbon bottle cages. But one thing you do have to have is a helmet. You don't need one of these helmets that comes off with a point way back here so that you're all aero and everything. If you look at Chrissy Wellington winning Kona for the last few years, she's used a helmet very similar to this. This is a Trek helmet. This probably is somewhere around $50. You can get even cheaper ones. One thing to make sure is that it meets the ANSI and ASTM standards that the triathlon you're planning to do uses. Otherwise, you will not be able to use it there. Next thing is pedals. There's lots of different kinds of pedals. There's clipless pedals is the most common. Clipless actually refers to the kind of pedals that you click into, which kind of seems backwards to me that they would call clipless, the ones that you kind of clip into. But anyway, when you clip into or click into the pedals, your foot is attached to the pedal. The triathlon bike over here has some clipless pedals on here, so I'll go ahead and show you that. This is a set of Shimano SPD road clipless pedals. There's a cleat on the bottom of the shoe that clicks right into that. So that'll hold your foot to the pedal. What that does, let me put the camera back here real quick. What that does is it provides for better power transfer between your foot and the pedal. You could also get a set of cages where you stick your tennis shoe in there. That allows you to pull up on the backside, also gives you better power transfer than just riding on pedals with no cage or no clips. And then so you'll need, if you do clipless pedals, you're going to need some shoes. Some shoes that accept the cleats. So this is a pair of Specialized shoes. That's the company Specialized. These are considered mountain bike shoes actually because they have more tread on them, and so you can walk in them easier, and they're a little more flexible. These here are road shoes. They are very flat or very stiff on the bottom, no tread at all, but they provide excellent power transfer. So you can use either for road riding, mountain bike shoes or road shoes. If you want something that's a little easier to walk in, go ahead and get the mountain bike shoes, but make sure that whatever cleats that go with your pedals that you buy will fit on the shoes that you buy. That's the main thing. So I think I'm going to leave off with this blog here. There's some text to go along with the blog that you can read through, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me, Ryan@tribasetraining.com, and thanks for watching.